name is Bonner, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and that I promised to talk about, is playing fingerstyle, a song like Freight Train. There's a very, very straightforward and simple approach to learning how to do this stuff. There's a lot of hullabaloo about independent thumb and independent this and that and the other thing. It's really not that complicated. Here's what's happening when we're playing through a piece like this. What we're doing is we're getting both hands to work together, and when we have a little bit of stuff to learn about what this hand is doing, what the left hand's doing, the fretting hand's doing, what the right hand is doing. But really, no matter what kind of music we're playing, we're always looking for independent control of our fingers. We want to understand what every finger is doing, what every finger needs to do, and how to get it to do those things, how to teach your hands to do those things so that you can always send independent instructions to every digit. And that's really what's happening. My whole approach for this is based on normal sight reading methodology that you would learn in classical guitar or studying the piano. And in particular, there's a book that was very inspirational to me called A Soprano on Her Head, where she talks about a sort of a revelation from looking at sheet music and setting it on its side. Here's what it boils down to. When we look at the tab, I'm going to put the tab on the screen here. Here's the tab for Freight Train. We're just going to look at the first, maybe the first 2 or 4 measures of Freight Train. But as we look here at the first 2 measures, what's happening is as we go along from left to right, we're just moving through time. You'll notice I have lines at the bottom of the page here, the tall lines and the little dots between them. Those are the quarter notes and the eighth notes. So as we're moving through time, no matter what tempo or what music we're playing, as long as we're playing something in 4/4 time, we're always counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The music is simply instructing us what notes make a sound at each of those places in time. So here we are, for example, with Freight Train, beat 1. We play the A string and the high E string as indicated on the notes. Then on beat 2, we play just to the D string. Then on beat 3, we play A string and E string again, but now we've taken our pinky off the E string. And then beat 4. So here's what it is if I play it all one after another. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay. Okay, so this is all that's happening. Now, how do we get those sounds? I'm going to break this down in more detail in a second pair of videos, but let's talk for a second about our left hand. What we're doing in that first 2 measures is we're playing the chord C, as is indicated on the chart. When we're playing a chord, most of the time when we're playing guitar, let's talk about this for a second. When we're playing the guitar, a lot of the time our left hand is playing a shape of a chord. Even when we're playing lead guitar, this is often the case. So it's usually the case when we're playing fingerstyle. So all I do to play those first 2 measures with my left hand is put my left hand on in the shape of a C, and then if there are additional notes that are being added or taken away, I'm going to play those with usually the outside digits, the pointer or the pinky, depending. So when I'm playing the first C, I'm just holding down a C, plus I'm adding pinky on the E string. Then I'm just playing the D string. I'm already holding it down in the C chord. Then I'm playing the same pinch, A string and, B, and high E, but I'm holding no note down on the high E. And then I'm playing the D string. Okay? And so that's what's being shown to me here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just go through time and figure out what gets played at which point. When I first learn, it's not going to sound musical at first. It's going to sound really mechanical, and that's okay. Your first job is not to perform the song. Your first job is to teach both of your hands what they have to do to make their way through each measure of a piece. And this is always true, whether you're learning fingerstyle or any kind of music. That's all we're doing. We're just going through. Beat 1, I play these 2 notes. Beat 2, I play these 2 notes, or whatever. in this case, so, and the way I facilitate that with my left hand is, in this particular case, on both of these two measures at the beginning, I'm playing the shape of a C, and I'm just moving some fingers around for the melody note, which is the notes on the highest strings. You'll notice that the bass note does happen to fall on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's pretty much often always the case. In all fingerstyle, you're going to often find that repeating pulse on the 1, the 2, and the 3, and the 4. The other notes, the melody notes, can be played wherever we want, on a 2-hand or a 3-hand or whatever. With the right hand, what we're doing is, the basic rule is that the lowest 3 strings are going to get played with your thumb. And this is just the same as in classical guitar. In fingerstyle blues in particular, we're not sticking with a strict classical method for the right hand. We are often only using 1 or 2 fingers of the right hand to play those high notes. I typically use 2. That's a commonplace, for example, with guys like Mississippi John Hurt would normally use 2 fingers. Sometimes I use 3 if I'm playing a fancier piece, but when you're getting started, you're quite okay to just use 2 fingers. Okay, so here's a close-up shot that's going to show you what I'm talking about playing our way through the beats. Okay, what we do is we just look at each beat and figure out what notes we have to play. So here I am on the first beat of measure 1. I'm holding a C chord down with my left hand. I'm adding the pinky to the E string on the 3rd fret, and I pinch with thumb and middle finger on the right hand. You could use pointer. I like middle finger for a variety of reasons, in case I need to play a note soon on one of the lower strings. Okay, so here we are in measure 1. I'm holding down a C with the left hand, adding my pinky to the E string, the high E string. I'm going to pinch thumb on A and middle finger on high E. Then on beat 2, I'm going to play the D string in the normal C shape with my thumb on the right hand. Then beat 3, I'm going to take my pinky off the fretting hand, so I have an open E string, and I'm going to pinch A and open E. And then I'm going to play the thumb on the D string again. And this is how we initially learn to play a piece. Is we explicitly teach each hand and each finger what they are required to play. With a little bit of practice, it'll start to flow together. Let's try the second measure. We're playing a C now, but we're adding the pinky on the B string on the 3rd fret, and I pinch with thumb and middle finger again. Then thumb on the D string on beat 2. Then I take the pinky off. Now I'm just playing a regular C shape, pinching A string with thumb and B string with middle finger on the right hand, and then thumb on the D string again. And what I'm doing is I'm thinking in terms of the actual counts. I'm counting my way through. Here's how I would practice this if I was first learning this. Just going back to the beginning of measure 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then to measure 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The point is that what you're seeing here is that we're simply learning how to play all the notes and which fingers need to be involved in playing each note. When we put those together and we practice it a little bit so we can play a little more smoothly, it automatically takes on the bass, alternating bass feel, simply because those are the notes we're naturally playing. And that's how it goes. Okay? This is all that we're doing when we're playing fingerstyle. And what you need to do is you have to teach your hands what they're doing in each measure. Teach the left hand and the right hand, and go through it very slowly so that you know what the motions are. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And so what I have to do is I'm teaching my left hand predictably what it's doing. It's just moving around a little bit within a C shape. And the right hand is just basically pinching, or in this particular case, I'm either playing a pinch or just a bass note all by itself. And that gives you this effect. When you learn to play it, here's the payoff here. When you learn to play fingerstyle in this way, then what's happening is you're teaching both hands exactly what they have to do at each beat of the music. Doing so automatically teaches you, builds the skill of being able to control each finger of both hands and the thumbs to do what you want when you want them to play a certain note or to release a certain note. That is really the fundamental skill required for playing fingerstyle and really required for playing all guitar, even classical guitar. It's exactly the same thing. There's all kinds of finger independence exercises you can do, but if you want to build up real finger independence very quickly and learn fingerstyle songs at the same time, you absolutely can do it with this simple method. You don't have to practice wiggling your thumb around for 6 months. You can start playing a song tomorrow. So that's all I wanted to talk about for today. This is the method for approaching songs. If you have any questions, you can send me a message or leave me a comment in the comments underneath the YouTube. And please subscribe to the channel. This is lesson 1 of a group of 3. So in lesson 2, the next lesson, lesson 2, I'm going to talk about the left hand in a little more detail. And in lesson 3, I'm going to talk about the right hand in a little more detail. But these are all going to be very, very short, simple lessons working on the same content. So that's it for me for today. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you soon.